Welcome everybody to another episode of our computer battle reports. Today what we've got is Rune versus Gondor. So we got the Rune. It looks like we got some archers on horseback up here. They're specifically called the Variag Raiders. As always, chastise me for mispronunciation of a fictional story. Okay, we got Loki in his room. Basically the heavy cavalry up back here, partially in the woods. We got some heavy infantry back here, guarded by some dismounted, okay, so some cavalry, and then at the very, not cavalry, but dismounted cavalry, bowmen basically, and then you got on the front, you got some more archers up at the front in skirmish formation. Alright, over here, basically, they're going to have to try to break this formation of Gondor that is up on this hill. And they got Ithilien Rangers, which are really good. They're some pretty good shots over there. Some Gondor archers, and then backed up by Citadel Guard. Some guards of Osgiliath, basically spearmen. Citadel Guard, some Swan Knight cavalry on the side that's like heavy cav. Dismounted Swan Knights in the back. And Swan Knights, basically the cavalry guarding the flanks. And guards of Osgiliath have moved over here to guard the flank because they can see that the Rune light cavalry archers are moving over to the side. So this is going to become one of those battles where basically the Rune is going to try to break the fortifications of the of Gondor here. I'm going to watch a lot of this from the hill because you can really see what's going on. Alright, so you got the Rune cavalry over here, light cavalry, moving up to try shooting some arrows to lighten them. Okay, now the Gondor spearmen are going to go into a skirmish, and the heavy cav is going to go down there to try to wipe them out. If the Rune can start moving, they can get away in time, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it. Looks like the heavy cavalry is going to hit at least a few of them, before the rest of them get away. And now the other ones are going to fire at them while they're there, and the heavy cavalry is just going to keep on pursuing them. Even though they can't catch up with them, they can at least push them away and maybe kill a few of the stragglers if they don't get out of there in time. And here they're going to catch some of these guys. These bowman cavalry are not quite fast enough to quite, you know, they're getting greedy and trying to get as many shots off as possible before they run. But they didn't get a lot of them. Oh, and now some of these others are up on this hill. Now they're isolated, and they're going to hit them from two different directions. They're going to do what light cavalry really should. They're going to keep harassing them, running off, shooting a few more of them. And the heavy cav is not going to catch up with them anymore. They are just going to have to take some losses while they chase after them. Meanwhile, some of the infantry is coming down, and the heavy cavalry haven't had enough, and they're starting to move back. They've taken a few losses. Oh, especially because the Rune are starting to bring over some more archers. Oh, these are, okay. These are heavy cavalry. Oh, okay, they're bringing over the heavy cavalry, hopefully. Looks like they were going to try to isolate that, the Gondorian cavalry, but they didn't quite make it in time, and they have now moved back, and now the Rune heavy cavalry is going to move back as well. So far you've just sort of had some skirmishing. Looks like the Rune are going to they're going to take this hill over here on this flank, and they're going to hold their position as well near the front, while the Gondorians are going to try to hold in the center, hold their hill, their tall hill. And yeah, you can see they actually did a bit of damage to the Rune cavalry riders up there when they came up and tried to do their attack. Kind of really weakened one of those units pretty badly. If we just stay up here, we can kind of see what everybody's doing. Oops. Oh, looks like the Rune are going to start making a move inside of those woods. I'm not sure if the Gondorians can see it. We can see everything. But those in the woods would probably be hidden to the Gondorian player. He's gonna, now the Gondorian player is gonna bring some of these Swan Knights over here to the side, Looks like he's expecting much more of an attack from the flank, while meanwhile the Rune is starting to do something down here in the middle. Their challenge, though, is, I mean, look at that hill. If they go for a direct attack, it's just going to be their, you know, chop down as they come. It's really up to them to try to even the odds as much as possible. So they'll probably try to come up here from a less steep point of view, but of course, now the Gondor can just make a stronger position in that one spot. Or what they'll do, which is probably most likely, is just try to chop away at them with this light cavalry. Go up, take some pot shots, take out as many as they can, and then they'll have to go for it. The Gondorians really don't have a reason to come down off of their hill. Now you can see some of the Gondorians on there. The Swan Knight cavalry is starting to react to the movement up here, up there. You can see it's just like bees out there. There's a lot of them. A lot of archers, which might be their best asset, but at the same time, it's going to be tough for them to actually go in and do the damage. And they're shooting uphill, which is difficult. Oh, looks like the Swan Knights were going to go take out archers, and then saw that there's heavy infantry behind them. Meanwhile, you can see that light cavalry is hitting that. I think the Rune is doing about everything they possibly can, because it's a really tough situation for them, so they're just sort of trying to nip at them and all sorts of... Oh, and now the Gondorians are getting into a wedge formation to do a charge. Watch what this does. Charge right into that those archers. A wedge formation can do like an arrow, really cut through, just as an arrow cuts through the skin, this can cut through the front lines and continue through. So watch how this attack goes. And just like a blade goes into a body, so too did the wedge formation get into those archers. But now the archers are just firing from all different areas, and you've got the heavy infantry coming in. So the question will be, can they get to those knights before the knights retreat? Looks like these on the left are going to try to get in behind them. That is a lot of archers. Oh, and they got slowed down. The Rune heavy infantry got slowed down by their own archers and weren't able to get through. So is heavy cavalry, after doing a very deadly raid on those archers, are going to get away. However, they took a lot of damage. Oh, and here comes with some light infantry going to try to take in, surround them. It really looks like they're trying to take out those Swan Knights while they are exposed. And they certainly did take a lot of them. And look at all that dead. I mean, they did some damage on the archers, but, you know, the difference between archers, I hate to make it sound like one life is less important than the other, but hey, when you're losing an equal number of Swan Knights to equal number of archers, Swan Knights lose. And ooh, looks like they stopped, and they're still getting hit from the back. Yeah, they're trying to not use up their exhaustion, but they're still getting hit by arrows. So yeah, look at that. There's a Swan Knight who's just arrogantly strolling back like, I ain't gonna let you make me run. So yeah, archers took a few casualties, but it looked more severe than it actually was, and Swan Knights took a much bigger toll. So overall, while it looked impressive, it really wasn't very effective for the Swan Knights. They've really lost a lot of their heavy cavalry, but you can see actually there's still quite a few of them left. And you can see over there, something is getting ready. Either they got left behind, or they are ready for something else. The Rune have got, oh, it looks like is that? Yeah, heavy cavalry still back here. Just wanted to get on them for a moment. Their gold outfits are really neat. I mean, that whole area of them and the I can't think of the name of the other, but the other one with Oliphants and all that, they just look incredible. That's a very beautiful area that Tolkien mentioned. So yeah, you got the light cavalry backed up by the heavy cavalry, so they might be trying something from this side. Looks like the Rune are not quite using this ridge quite yet. I think it's sort of so much of an obvious place from which to make the attack, they don't want the Gondorians to get set up in place. Oh, and it looks like the Gondorians have a trap back here of Swan Knights. Either they're trying to keep them protected, or they're setting this up as an ambush. Certainly the Rune can't know about it yet. They haven't gotten back there yet. It looks like everybody's kind of getting into position. The Rune are sending something over here. Who are these guys? Oh, it looks like that the light cavalry archers that got really damaged earlier. There's only a few of them left. And they're running over to this side of the field for some reason. Not quite sure what they're going to plan on doing. Gondorians really aren't doing a lot because they have the position. It was really up to them to set up a defensive situation and hold it. And then you got, the spearmen basically to protect against the cavalry attack over there, backed up by some dismounted Swan Knights and the Citadel Guard's spearmen. So they basically have the spearmen to keep from the cavalry charges, and they're backing up with the heavy infantry and some heavy cav. And yeah, it's probably a good move. Put your spearmen in to keep them up there to stop the cavalry charge, but they have them spread out, so it's harder for the spearmen to hit. And they're going to threaten the, or they're harder for the archers to hit.
We're under attack.
Looks like there was some fire from up here as well. Oh, of course, yeah, you have these guys. They are the Gondorian Rangers. They are really good shots, and they just took out some of the cavalry down there. So now they are not going to be bullied around and whittled down. They're going to keep them off of them. They're going to keep the Rune off of them. You can see over there that those riders are still making their way around. I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but they've got some. I mean, they're certainly not enough to be an effective force to like do a flank attack or something, but they're trying to do something all on their own. Looks like the Swan Knights are getting in their wedge formation again. There's still a lot of, even though they took some heavy damage on that last attack, they still are a pretty fierce force here, so still a force to be reckoned with. So they got themselves in spear formation, and looks like they're going to try to do something. And the Rangers are going ahead and it looks like it's going to turn into an archer battle here, where they basically get set up and trade shots. The Rangers, though, are very good shots. So, and they're shooting from uphill or from up the hill, and while the others are down the hill. So it's definitely going to be in the advantage of Gondor. But it looks like the Rune have a lot of their guys. It's very smart of the Rune. They got into their skirmish formation, but it may not help in terms of those, going against those Rangers. Meanwhile, they're firing back up at them. The Rangers are in kite formation. They're not too afraid of getting hit, and they're getting a few, but not as many as the Rune. The Rune are just really getting hit hard. It's a real long-range battle here. But these Rangers are just good enough shots that they, I think they're kind of winning the fight, and I think the Rune might realize that. So, oh, they're bringing up some more archers. So it's going to be mass versus quality here. I think the Gondor had some more archers as well. I'm not sure where they are. Gondor archers right here. Are they shooting? No, they're still waiting. They're still the reserve, just in case the Rangers run out of ammo. Not sure what happened. Oh, there's that little band again. Looks like they're sneaking up behind. That's going to be an interesting sort of thing. It doesn't look like the Gondorians realize that they're moving, so we'll be interested to see what happens with them. Now you got these archers over here. So Rune is just trying to use their mass of archers to do what they can. And here come the Swan Knights again. They are going to try to kill off those archers, or at least run them out. I think the Rune, yeah, it looks like the Rune archers got too far ahead of their heavy infantry here. So it's a real effective strike this time. Oh, and these other archers who could fire into those Swan Knights they're distracted as it is. Looks like they're running off. So Swan Knight attack might actually be real effective this time. If they can get out of there before these the heavy infantry can move up. Oh, and all the archers on the sides that could be doing something. Oh, they're getting pushed back. So it was like a big Swan Knight charge here. Okay, so you got the heavy infantry of the Rune moving up here, and you got heavy cavalry moving over there, but those Swan Knights are going to get out quickly. And is this heavy infantry going to make it? Looks like they're just marching slowly through their own archers and getting slowed up once again by the archers in the way. Finally, they're making it, and you can see some shots coming from below. And the Swan Knights, once hit, start moving out of there. But this time it was much more effective. Ooh! And the Rune has brought their heavy cavalry up here. They're going to hit them in the flank. They're going to try to stop them. Oh, but that Swan cavalry is just too fast for them. They only nipped off a few of them. Oh, apparently the Gondor archers had come out. I hadn't seen that. And they're going to get pushed back by the Rune cavalry, who is going to make a strike. They're going to go ahead and go up into these spearmen, which is not a good move on the part of cavalry. That is never... Oh, and by the way, here's this other group that came back here. Looks like they are in the back, just nipping the Gondorians in the rear. The Gondorians don't seem to know where it's coming from. But meanwhile, this cavalry up here just got slaughtered in front of those spearmen, and what was left is going back. So the Rune light cavalry is pretty well done for, so that phase of the battle is now done. But it looks like their heavy infantry is in place, and now it's just going to be a back and forth of the archers to try to weaken the Gondorians up on their hill. And yeah, here comes some more archer action here. What else is over there? Yeah, there's nothing. That cavalry is done for. They're going to try to take out those spearmen, because spearmen are very good to defend against charges, especially against cavalry. Oh, and here come... Alright, those Swan Knights have finally figured out that that long flank march of those few guys was back there, and so they're going to scare them away, take that out. I'm sure that player was annoyed at finding out that there was a thorn in his butt. So he's gonna finish him off. So there's no like one or two guys just throwing arrows at them. They're done for. All right, so now it's gonna all come from this one side. The Rune really just have the archers and a strike they can do from the shallow part of the hill. That's really their only hope. See how they're doing. The Rangers, there we go, yeah, they basically have a spear wall with some Rangers behind it. Firing back. Look like they're a little bit out of range, and their spearmen are taking some damage, so those Rangers are going to move up. These Rangers are they're kind of the heroes so far, although they're in competition with the Swan Knights, but ooh, and now there's just a mass of them. While the Rune may not be as great at shots as these guys, there's such a mass of them. There's just such a mass of arrows coming from the Rune that they are actually taking down some of the Rangers. Oh, there was a guy about to take a shot off and taken down. Ooh. So yeah, the Rune arrows are really doing something. That mass is really effective, and it's going to move the spearmen back. So now the Gondorians are going to bring up all their archers. They're going to bring up the Rangers, and you can see there's a lot of dead Rangers out there. One problem he's having is not spreading them out, so they're really getting hit with that mass. You don't need to be a very good shot when you have a ton of arrows in the air. Wow. You're gonna fire back. And let's see what kind of damage they're doing to the Rune. Well, the Rune is very well spread out here. And they're taking some shots, but they're taking some hits, but they're really throwing much more up onto that hill than they're taking. So they might just weaken the Gondorians enough. Oh my goodness. Well, those rangers might be great shots, but there really aren't too many of them left. This is, of course, the group that Faramir comes from. Oh, there goes another one. Citadel Guard spearmen are going to come down and try to protect. Oh, were they? Well, with this many arrows, they're just kind of coming down to be fodder at the moment. The Gondorians, their best asset is the fact that eventually people have to run out of arrows. And eventually there will be enough arrows inside the bodies of their own men that no more will be able to be flung at them. So yeah, it looks like they've really finished off those rangers. These are their archers, the Gondorian archers, so they're throwing back at them. Doesn't look like a lot of shots are coming at this direction. It kind of looks like they're bypassing the Rune archers and going after the heavy... Yep, they're going after the heavy infantry, which is going to back up. They know that they don't want to take any damage. They're just waiting for their own archers to weaken the Gondorian front line enough that they can go up there. The Gondorians, meanwhile, are putting their spearmen up to take the brunt. What that does, though, what the Gondorians did, however, was by hitting that, they caused the heavy infantry, or by hitting the heavy infantry had to go back and not support the archers quite so much. Looks like the Swan Knights went in for a strike, but now the Rune cavalry has come in to push them back. But it looks like they're not going to settle for just pushing them back. They are going in to take out the spearmen. And the spearmen looked like they were going to go try to hit the spearmen before they were in line. The spearmen got into line just in time. And you got heavy cavalry going into that mix. Well, it looks like the fight might be on. The Rune have committed at least their cavalry. And it's a big fight between their heavy cavalry, the spearmen, which is not usually the thing you want to do. You don't want to send cavalry after spearmen, but they probably thought they were weakened enough. And they know now that they aren't weakened enough, so they're going to pull their heavy cavalry back after losing. Man, they lost pretty big on that one. Look at that. Oh, and now the flame arrows come out. They're going to try to scare them out. Flame arrows are less accurate, but more frightening. Ah, they're shooting at the cavalry, so they're probably trying to scare off the horses. They have done enough damage that might be an effective tactic. And now here come spearmen, and here come the Rune. Alright, and so now I think the infantry is going to go in at each other. Yeah, heavy infantry is going to go in and try to take out those spearmen. And here comes the regular infantry going in after these spearmen. So it is committed. We're past the arrow phase and on to hand-to-hand. Oh, and the Gondorians are feeding in more of theirs. Here comes the dismounted Swan Knights. They are chopping through the Rune regular infantry, but now here comes the Rune heavy infantry. So now it becomes the grind. The infantry going up against each other. The archers just firing into the melee as well as they can. Do whatever they can. The Gondorians have reserve, but it looks like the Rune heavy cavalry stole a march on them and came up onto their side, and so now they've got the Swan Knights distracted over here. The problem that the Rune are going to have, that the Gondorians have the hill, and it might work to the Gondorian favor because I don't know that they were quite weakened enough. The attack looked like it was at a perfect time, but it might have been just like a little bit too early. But they are defeating the Swan Knights, so they might actually defeat them, although they do still have these archers behind them who are throwing into the fight. So you got this fight, which is essentially the same thing, infantry against infantry with some archers behind. Well, the Rune general has been slain, so that doesn't bode well. It was a grind, but when your general goes, the advantage goes to the one whose general is still alive. So, while the forces may be even, the morale may be falling for the Rune here in just a moment. Oh, in fact, you can see what happened. What that caused was these Rune heavy cavalry ended up running. And all you have left are the rest of these guys, but they have a flank exposed now with that cavalry running. So we'll have to see if the Gondorians exploit it, or if they just feel like they might already have this won. It's still, it still could go either way, but with the Rune commander killed, that can do quite a bit of damage, morale-wise. You can see arrows just going back and forth between the two sides. At this point, it's just a matter of watching and waiting. Oh! But here, the Citadel Guard coming in from the flank, and the Rune heavy cavalry built up their morale and came back, but now they are running again. Yeah, once a group runs, they can get back into combat, but they're very weak, and they're bound to run very quickly unless they have a real tight advantage. And now you've got Gondorians behind the Rune line. The Rune are trying to send some cavalry to deal with them, but there's so many more of the Gondorian infantry that, they just ran right past them. And now they have them on both sides. It is a Rune sandwich. I don't think they have much hope. It looks like the Gondorians might have this. Although the Rune does still have to march. No, they don't. There they go running. Yep. So these guys are pretty well on their own. Oh, here we go. Now the Rune heavy cavalry has come back again. Let's see if they can at least take them out. But now you have more Citadel Guards coming in behind them. So it's a sandwich on a sandwich. It's a club sandwich. You have a couple of patties there. They're Rune patties. I once had that. That was real tasty. Got a place called Bob's. It's a good thing the Rune are carrying their shields on their backs, because, that way they're being protected from the bun on the other side. Well, the archers seem to be shooting past them. They're shooting at other archers beyond here. Shooting at the dead bodies? Not quite sure what, because look at this. It's just a... Oh, here we go. There are a few archers down here. And they're firing back up at them. And the arrows are just going just barely over them. Oh, there, one guy poked his head up. And shooting the flames up here. Kind of, the archers are not really doing much. They're trying to shoot over this battle at each other. I mean, it's obviously many more Gondorian archers, but... neither side is doing much to each other. And this grind, though... I mean, this is the type of thing where you'd hate to see it in a campaign, because it means your army is getting swallowed up, and you're not going to have much after this. You may lose the battle, but you're also going to lose the war, because you're not going to have an army anymore. And now, it looks like they're going to try to crowd out of there to escape. But I think it may just be too late for them. They are surrounded on all sides. Gondorians have come down out of their hill, have surrounded them, and are just now finishing them off. Oh, and here comes a charge. Oh, and the ones who tried to flee, tried to get out of there, and just got trampled by the Swan Knights. Swan Knights who have had a difficult night, but have also had a glorious night. There aren't as many left. There's probably less than half of them remaining, but they have destroyed a lot of the Rune, and there goes the Rune. They have broken. The last unit is looking to run, and they're about to get run over by the cavalry, by the Swan Knights. Oh, and that, you just hate to see that. Alright, unless you're a Gondorian. Well, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch all our videos. And, man, look at all that carnage. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and happy gaming, everybody.
We have gained only blood and shame from this battle. Our accursed enemy
Actually, I'm
rejoices
still watching because there's that one archer left. Look at this guy. He's gonna... Oh, it's Harold and Kumar. Run, Harold and Kumar, run!